we just came from Scotiabank and we're able to get debit, credit card, and checking account. So mamaya I'll talk to you once we get home. I'll record and tell you how we're able to get those bank accounts, which is important if you're a newcomer in Canada, especially for international students. Okay, see you later. Okay, so for today we're gonna be discussing several tips, hot tips, must-dos, kumbaga, once you land in Canada as an international student. Okay, so for us, we landed here actually just last month, July 20, 2022. Right now it's August 9, 2022, and these are the first things that we did once we landed. Number one should be to, kanina ba ako lumitingin sa baba kasi I wrote them down for you para wala akong ma-miss out, is to inform your school that you've landed already and upload your study permit. So for me, in my case, as I study, because I'm going to be studying in Bow Valley College, is one of the things that they ask me to do, is to contact them and then upload or share a copy of your study permit. So I'm assuming this is true for all other schools. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, so number two is to get your social insurance number or your SIN or your SIN. You can get this in most government buildings or Service Canada centers. Here in Alberta, dun ako pumunta sa Harry Hayes is what they call it, in over downtown. So your your social insurance number. Why do I say SIN number? Like PIN number sa Philippines. Okay, it's very important kasi for your work in accessing other government programs or benefits. So for us, we did it day one to get our social insurance number. So yung requirements for the social insurance number, all we were asked for were our passports and our study permits for myself, and sa wife ko naman, her open work permit. And they also asked for our address and our phone number. However, they didn't ask for proof of address or in a document form naman. So be ready with those two things. Actually, in most of the things to be applying for in Canada, importante talaga na you have your passport and your permits with you. Like yun yung you can't not bring them when you're gonna be applying for these things. Okay, the next item naman the next thing that you should be doing is to get your health insurance. So it's different. It may be different for each province. In our case, here in Alberta, it's the AHCIP or the Alberta Healthcare Insurance Plan. So for this one, it's very important that you go to a registry for this. In our case, kasi we live in Bridalwood, may malapit dito na registry it's over at Shaughnessy. Medyo daming tao, pila. I didn't know yet about the Qless app, yung app that can help you queue up or line up with just inputting your number. So we got the tip to go to a registry called the Licensing Company. It's over downtown. Dumaan kami dun. I think very early in the morning, hindi man super early, baka 8:30 or 9. And they're very, very quick to process stuff. So for the health card or the health insurance plans, they just asked us, me for our passport, our study permits, our proof of address. In this case, pwede, ang pinasend ko is the lease agreement. I was told na pwede rin naman bank statement or a credit card bill, kumbaga, or a phone bill. But since bagong dating kami, or probably you, a copy of the lease agreement will do. And I'm sunod ko. Okay, then after that, it's free naman. It's free, totally free. It will be mailed to you within 5 to 10 business days. We actually got our health cards yesterday. So, yun, get your health card pronto. Really need the coffee to warm up. So yung next naman would be opening a bank account. So here, when you open a bank account, well, would really suggest, if not ito yung kailangan gawin na, if not ito yung requirement, I would really suggest making an appointment with your bank. We found it's more efficient this way. Kasi, back in the Philippines, when you walk into a bank, you can waste hours just queuing up. Here, make an appointment to whatever bank you're going to. They're gonna be emailing you back with a confirmation, pati yung name ng tao who will meet with you at that specific or specified time. Ngayon, for us, we went to 2 banks. We went to CIBC, first to activate our GIC or Guaranteed Investment Certificate. And then, we went to Scotiabank, one of the big banks here. And also, because it's one of the nearest, kaya namin lakarin yung Scotiabank from where we live in. So we set an appointment there, and then we opened 2 kinds of accounts at Scotiabank. It would be a checking account and a credit card account. Why? Well, number 1, credit card kasi kailangan mo to build your credit score here. It's actually very advisable to make most of your purchases via credit card. Hindi pa ako super knowledgeable kung ano yung best practices for that. Maybe kapag nakuha na namin yung tamang hindi naman sa tamang timpla, tamang ways to raise your credit score, we can make content about that. But 1, we open a credit card account, and number 2, we open a checking account. So in checking account, it's very important here, especially once you get to work, kasi most employers here, they make your payroll or yung sweldo mo, they deposit it to your checking account. Here, once you open a checking account, you're gonna be given a debit card para magamit mo yun. There's another bank account type, which is a savings account, pero hindi pa kami nag-open nun. So for the bank account opening, our requirements would be, of course, your passport, your study permit, phone number, kasi ilalagay mo doon. And then in our case naman, we were also asked about I believe the LOA, just to check about, or maybe the financial advisor talking to us was curious about where we were gonna study. So advice, really make an appointment with the bank, pick a reputable bank, a big bank, and a bank that's convenient to go to. Lalo na sa mga bagong dating like us, initially na wala pang car nun, na commute lang talaga. Actually, nilakad lang namin yung Scotiabank. So yun, open a bank account, checking, and a credit account, please. Okay, next tip, I think we're on to number 5 na, is to get a mobile number. Okay? So, very important, mobile number. Alam ko marami sa inyo yung gusto pagdating pa lang meron na. I believe in Calgary Airport, you can buy a SIM card or prepaid SIM card there, but I'm not really sure kasi yung nag-land kami dito 11:30, past 11:30 yan ng gabi. So most of the shops were closed. There was a 7-Eleven, pero pagod na kami, so we really wanted to go straight to kung saan kami nag-rent here in Bridlewood. So it took us actually a week to be able to get a mobile number, because when we went to a mall, nag-canvas kami, the telco provider we chose, which is Shaw, actually required us to have a bank account. But our schedules were 6 days from our arrival, July 26. So it took us time to get a postpaid number. So anyway, pwede ka makuha ng prepaid number anywhere if you want. But the requirements when we open our mobile number account or yung postpaid accounts namin, those are passport, our permits, and then okay, so we were trying to get to Shaw, but they were still looking for a credit card. Kaso, that time we went there, hindi pa na-mail yung credit card ko actually. Then, 9th day na ngayon, hindi pa na-mail yung credit card ko. Tagal, Scotiabank. But anyway, so we were told by the Shaw staff na it's their corporate policy to ask for a credit card. So instead of going to Shaw and opening our bank account there, dinirect kami, ni-refer kami to Best Buy. So Best Buy here, they're like a big electronics and gadget seller in North America, and they also have a branch that caters to opening all kinds of telco providers. So pupunta kami doon sa Best Buy, and then we just showed our permit, our passport. That's it. We open our Shaw postpaid account. So The reason why we got Shaw, kasi we got it on a bundle. So, we were able to get a home Wi-Fi for $79 per month na I think 500 Mbps ba. Pretty fast, pretty reliable connection. As a gamer, mabilis talaga siya. And then, yung 2 lines namin ni wife, it's $45 each for 25 gigs. So, merong bigger providers like Telos and Rogers that have better signal, sabi nila, even outside Calgary. Kasi yun yung limitation ni Shaw. Malakas lang ng signal, ang coverage lang niya is for British Columbia or Calgary. But we don't have plans naman of going out anytime soon. So, yung Shaw plan for us works really well. Do your own research kung anong tawag dito. Telco provider would be best for you. Okay? Another helpful tip siguro para sa akin is number 6, to map out your schedule and your routine already. So ano to? You should already be able to do ano yung mga necessities mo sa everyday life. You're living here. So ano ibig sabihin? Hanapin mo kung saan yung grocery that's closest or more convenient for you. I-plan out mo na rin yung frequency ng pagpunta mo doon. Kasi important yun to plan out when you're gonna go for grocery, where you're gonna go for grocery, how much would your budget be for doing your groceries. Another part of your routine could be exercise. So, ano ba gagawin yung exercise mo? Here naman, I just do my exercises in the condo unit kasi medyo malamig sa labas. Like, it's funny kasi dumating kami summer. Either it's very cold or very hot. Yung tipong, pwede mo hindayan kasi galing ka naman ng Maynila. Mainit. But the sun really masakit yung araw. It really dries up your skin. Other things that you can map out and schedule would be, or study yung commute mo. For example, I think day 1 ko dito. Inaral ko na, in actual ko na yung papunta sa Bow Valley College, the school where I'm going to. So in my case, it's a 5-minute walk to the bus stop outside our condo. Siguro at max 15-minute bus stop ride to the train station, and then the train station could go up to an hour to get to Bow Valley College. Thankfully, pag drop off ko sa City Hall or the main station of downtown, andun na yung school. So, plan it already, actual experience to going to and from the college. Other things that you could probably map out and schedule would be your bank. Sabay malapit, saan ba yung bank na okay sa'yo? Or your recreational stuff. If you wanna go work ka, if you like to do sports. Kasi kami naman, we also were able to find a walking distance na playground for my kids. So yun, map and schedule, plan out your routine. Last tip for you guys would be number 7, find a way to be mobile. So if you're a car driver or car owner back home, find a way to be able to get a car here in Canada. We actually made a video about that already. I think we posted it last week on how we were able to buy, get insurance, and register to get the plate number to be able to legally drive here in Alberta, Canada, who's just my Philippine driver's license. So actually for this week and next week, ang goal namin is to already apply for a Canadian driver's license. But yeah, we're able to do that. And why is getting mobile a tip? Okay, so if you're planning to drive eventually here, simulan mo na maghanap kasi kailangan mo malaman magkano yung budget mo. You have to canvas at least several cars, sellers, alamin mo yung what vehicle would be best for you as a starter property, a starter purchase here in Canada. Or if you're not a driver, or it's not yet in your plans, or maybe not yet in your budget sa umpisang months here, is to really alamin mo kung paano to go around. So if you have a friend here, magpa-tour ka like we did with our tita, and I highly recommend to download transit maps. Here in Calgary, there's calgarytransit.com na it can plan out your itinerary or trip to do that. Pwede rin naman Google Maps. It's just that most transit maps localized to your province or city, meron din siya yung schedule, schedule for the train station for that day, schedule for bus rides that day. So yun, find a way to be mobile, study it, and you'll be able to get around easily. Okay, so 7 tips. Okay na ba tayo? so those are the first 7, the 7 tips or 7 things that we advise based on our experience for you to do agad once you get here. Maybe you can do it in a week. Kami naman, it took us 2 weeks to be able to do all of those things. Yon, and if you have time to spare, maaga kayo dumating. It's best to be able to accomplish these things off your list as soon as possible. So yun, hopefully nakatulong. If you have any questions, we're always open to being asked. If not in the comments, over on Facebook. Most of the questions we receive kasi are from Facebook eh. It's either from potential IS from that big Facebook group or mga batchmates ko incoming Cebu Valley College. So that's what's happening this season. I will use that catchphrase until it catches on. And thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next vlog.